they're going to start describing illegal immigrants as irregular immigrants. I don't know if you've seen this.
I have.
And so we're now saying, first of all, it's an insult to legal immigrants, isn't it? Because I'm a legal immigrant. That's fine. Are you an illegal immigrant? No, I'm an irregular immigrant, basically. So you're now lumping illegal immigrants in with legal immigrants, which is insulting to legal immigrants who worked hard to get the opportunity. Whether that's being controlled or not, that's a separate argument there. But it's actually a lie, isn't it? Because they're not irregular, they are illegal immigrants, aren't they?
Yes, they are. It is illegal to enter this country without stopping at a official port. It's illegal to break into this country. I posted about this today. It was a good graphic. I forgot what it says now. It's all based in an immigration act. So it's all the fact they come to the country makes them a criminal the day they put a foot on this country. So they're illegal. They're criminals. This has come right out of America. So in America, they've had 10 years now of pushing back on illegal immigrants. Then over there, they're called undocumented migrants. You're not allowed to call them illegal aliens. They're undocumented migrants because no one's illegal. Well, they are because they broke into the country. So this is just the next thing on this wishy-washy, pink and fluffy tone policing your words, because words are hurtful, words are harmful, and we need to police what you say. That's just a new version of that.
But it's two-tier words. That's the point I'm making. So the one-tier words is if you're a white, young, working-class English kid, you can't say a bloody thing, can you?
Yeah.
If you're a brown bloke who's come over in a boat or whatever,
well, bend over backwards to be pink and fluffy for you.
And make it so you're not. So it's kind of, we've got two-tier policing. We've got two-tier language as well now in this country.
We're basically a two-tier nation.
Yeah.
Well, we're more than two-tier. We're a multi-tier nation, because depending who you are and where you are, you will be treated different from somebody else in the same position. So immigrants are one part of that. Don't you think we have issues with migration that need fixing? Do you think what we call these people is one of the problems? Who thinks what we call them is one of the problems? But this is one of those issues, again, that Keir Starmer falls for when he can't say all women don't have penises. So now he'll be saying, well, they're not illegal, they're undocumented, or they're irregular migrants, because the left love these wordplay. The left control us by language, by controlling language. They've controlled us for 50 years with the word racist. That's losing power now, so they've got to come up with new powerful words.
Well,
misogyny.
Far right's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, misogyny, Islamophobia, xenophobic.
Yeah.
They've got to come up with new words to keep that foot on our neck of control.
But where they're getting to, and this is what's horrific, isn't it? You cannot now express an opinion about immigration. You can't express if you express an opinion, it's in the schools now. It's moving on. It'll move on from the schools. You can't express an opinion about immigration now without being referred to prevent in a school. You can't express an opinion about Andrew Tate's views. You can't make a comment about a woman, or you have a view on a woman without being referred to the authorities. This is where we're heading now.
We are, and the only answer to this is to make sure you do comment on these things, so Prevent then get 10,000 referrals a week.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to fight this.
There's quite a nice analysis of this by a commentator. I can't remember who it is. It's also an abuse of the language. You might as well say that shoplifters are no longer guilty of theft, but irregular shopping.
Well, but that's true. If it's under £200,
yes,
then the police are not interested.
Yeah.
So it is irregular shopping.
And that those drunk at the wheel are guilty of irregular driving, which I've never done. The Labour government is deliberately obscuring the difference between right and wrong for political ends because they have abandoned the attempt to control illegal immigration. It's been quite amazing, and this is where maybe you will start to agree with me. It's been quite amazing the last few days to see the speed in which the main broadcasters and many papers have adopted this bizarre lab speak diktat. It's as though this country was turning into North Korea.
He's That I completely agree, because all those people and all those organisations all think the same.
Yeah.
They follow the same script. They all agree. They're not being told to do these things.
I'm not sure,
No, they're not being told to do it. But once they hear it, they go, yes, that's the right thing to say, and I'm going to say it. So all these people are on board. If they weren't on board, these people wouldn't have moved up those agencies in the first place.
Yeah.
And you only move up when you agree, you agree, you agree, you
Yeah,
agree.
but the problem I've got with this, Nick, is the speed. We talked about the 100 riots a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? The 100. All the media was on it straight away. But then it was like it synchronised virtually. Now you said, oh, they just blah blah, but actually, how does that happen? Because there was a time when the different news channels would critique what somebody else said on another channel, wasn't there, and say that was a load of rubbish. It's not happening now. They're actually turning over. What you're saying is, somebody gets a story and then somebody from another channel says, oh, that's a good story, I'll nick it and put it on mine. But it's happening instantly across all the channels. There's got to be some coordination.
Well, that's because of social media, because it's all on social media automatically. These mainstream agencies don't have the staffing they used to have. They would have reporters to go out, they would have investigators. You have none of it now. There's hardly any reporters doing any of this. They search social media and do a report on what they found on social media. So if someone else has done the work, they'll copy it and just repeat it. But it's more than that, because even with that, you could still critique a story, you could still put a different spin on it. They don't, because they all go to the same universities, all go to the same parties in Islington. They've all grown up middle class. There's hardly any white working class people working in the media, mainstream media anymore now. They're all working class. They're all middle class.
Middle class, yeah.
So all these people think the same. So when they're given the same information online, of course they come up with the same scenario. They're programmed to do it, not by the government, by their middle class societies.
I think we're going to find out, Nick, and maybe we will, that there is some sort of government agency that is feeding, and I think it's probably, I reckon it'll probably been agreed during COVID as a way of controlling information without, because we found out that Facebook was being manipulated, because Zuckerberg today,
and Twitter,
Zuckerberg is saying today he wishes he hadn't agreed to the government supporting the government's statements on. I don't know if you've seen that. So I think Zuckerberg might be changing. I think he might be going musky. I think he might change. I hope so. So he's actually saying he wished he hadn't agreed to the government controls. But
he was a coward, and he did.
Yeah, he was a coward. He's a billionaire coward. I mean, that is a man who shouldn't bow to authority. He doesn't need to, does he?
No.
But he did. So I think we're going to find out, and please record this episode, gentle listeners, because there's some government agency now that has been set up to send information. There's a red button they press, and when they press the red button, they say this has got to go out.
That does exist. First of all, every government department has someone who sends the press everything all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just media. The government, from what I can believe, does have powers to force the press to do certain stories, but it's only supposed to be in times of emergency like COVID and war and things like that. So there is legislation for that. If it turns out you're right on that, then
I think they've set it up. I think the left wing media tended to try and ignore it when the Tories were sending it. Now that Labour's in, it's like, we'll print it straight away, no problem. I think that's what's happened.
That is probably truthful as well, because don't forget, those people prefer Labour messages than Tory messages, even though Tory messages were still socialist messages, basically. I mean, we know we haven't got a free press. We know that. We've known it for a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't got a free press.
But I think it might be more sinister than you and I think.
Possibly. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.